If you're having some issues with your current asphalt shingle roof, or you're looking to put a new shingle roof on your home or building, it's important to know what kind of common problems that can occur so that you can potentially fix those issues and recognize when that roof has come to the end of its useful life. What's up guys, welcome to the Metal Roofing channel. I'm Thad Barnett. Subscribe if you're new here. We release new roofing and metal construction content every Monday and Wednesday. Well, today we're talking about common problems of an asphalt shingle roof. Some of these problems occur at the end of the natural lifespan of a shingle roof, and some can be caused by external factors, and we're gonna be talking about both types today. I have already done a video on common problems of a metal roof, and you can check that out right here. So today we're covering 9 common problems of a shingle roof. And this is not a comprehensive list, but it's some of the main things that we've come across from other roofing manufacturers and roofing professionals across the country. So first we're going to talk about blistering, and this is one of the most common issues that contractors are called to fix on asphalt shingle roofs, especially during hot summer months. Now I have a low-cost 3-tab shingle here, but the principles are same pretty much across the board. Now, one of the reasons blistering can occur is shingles are made from 3 main layers: a fiberglass backing layer, a coating of asphalt, and then granules on the top, which is what you see when you look up your roof. And when moisture gets trapped between any one of those layers during the manufacturing process, and a hot summer day causes that moisture to expand, it will blister out and pop out through the front. Sometimes it can look like hail damage on your roof, but it's actually blistering that is occurring from that expanding moisture. Now, why that can be a problem is if that blister is big enough, or there's several of them, it can get exposed to the elements and start aging at an uneven rate and can cause the roof to fail prematurely. So like I said, that's one of the most common reasons for asphalt shingle roof repair. Another thing that can cause blistering is poor ventilation. We're going to talk about ventilation a lot throughout the course of this video. It can cause a lot of the problems that we discuss. Next, we're talking about curling. And if you're on ground level looking up at your roof and you see some edges lifting up or literally curling around, that's what we're talking about. That can be caused by a few different things. Number one, the shingles could just be nearing the end of their useful life. And number two could be installation error. So let's say the shingles were not lined up properly. Maybe you're roofing over old shingles. Sometimes that can lead to curling as well. Ventilation issues, trapped moisture, those are all things that can lead to curling. Another big one is thermal shock. Now, thermal shock is when the high temperature of the roof suddenly gets cooled at a very rapid rate. Now, today in Northeast Ohio, it's a pretty warm day, mid-90s ambient temperature, so that means the roof temperature is going to be much higher. And if we got some lake effect weather, maybe a low pressure system, a cold front, it starts raining and cools this roof down very rapidly. That's the thermal shock that I'm talking about. That happens over and over again, especially coupled with a problem like poor ventilation and moisture issues, you're gonna have curling over time. Now, curling can lead to a leak over time, so you're gonna wanna get that repaired or replaced. Next is cracking. This is something we see with asphalt shingles pretty often as well. It's a natural part of the shingles aging process. Now, what you want to be concerned about is if that cracking leads to splitting or tearing, or if you have premature cracking. That could be an indication of another issue that was either created during the installation phase, it could be a manufacturing defect in the shingle, or it could be some other ventilation type moisture issues with your roof. One of the most important things to remember about cracking is cracking happens on one of the upper layers of the shingle and then can lead to splitting or tearing of the shingle, which will obviously reduce the lifespan of your shingle and lead to issues later down the line. Next common problem of an asphalt shingle roof is granule loss. Now, if you remember, shingles are made in 3 different layers: the fiberglass backing, the coat of asphalt, and then the granules, which are the upper layer, and that provides the protection for the layers beneath it and for your roof as a whole. Now, one way you might notice granule loss of your shingles is if you're cleaning your gutters, you can see excess granules in those gutters. Now, all shingles lose granules over time, but sometimes if let's say there's a manufacturing defect, granules can come off prematurely or in spots and then cause the roof to fail. One reason that might happen is if the asphalt layer is applied inconsistently over the course of the shingle. And if it's applied inconsistently and the sun melts those spots of asphalt, it can lead to splotches of granules coming off of the shingles, and that could be one problem. Another problem could be overheating, and that could be an issue from ventilation. And I know we're talking about ventilation a lot, but it's so important to have proper ventilation in your house for the sake of your roof, for the sake of your attic space, for the sake of your insulation. It can just cause all kinds of issues if it's not properly vented. Now, the granules are what protects your roof from UV exposure. And if those granules come off, your roof's gonna fail prematurely because the sun's UV rays are just gonna eat right through that asphalt, create leaks. Next, we're talking about organic growths on your roof, like mold, mildew, and algae. Maybe you've driven around your neighborhood and you've seen black streaks on certain roofs, or maybe you have some on your asphalt shingle roof right now. Maybe you've seen moss grow, especially on the north side of roofs in high humidity areas that are especially well shaded. Some of these issues are just cosmetic, but some of them can cause major problems if they trap moisture. That can lead to issues with your underlayment. It can rot out the decking, the OSB or plywood that's underneath your asphalt shingles. There are a couple different ways that you can combat these issues. Number one, there are some anti-algae shingles available. And the way those work are they have a layer of copper with the granules. And when the roof gets wet, the copper is released to help try to fight off that algae growth. Also, there are some cleaners that you can get at Lowe's. There's one called Spray and Forget, I believe. It's around $35 to $40 a gallon. If you've ever used one of those products to try to clean off your roof, definitely comment down below. I'd love to hear if that worked out for you. Next problem we're talking about is missing shingles. Now, shingles can come off a roof due to wind damage, impact damage, or something like that. Maybe the seal breaks or becomes brittle over time, which allows the wind to pick up the shingle and carry it away. Or maybe the seal was just never engaged properly in the first place. Maybe the shingles were installed at too low of a temperature, which can often void your warranty, by the way, and the seal just never got engaged. That can also cause the shingles to lift up during the next windstorm and blow off or come off due to impacts. Now, you're gonna wanna get that repaired or replaced as soon as possible, because now the part of the shingle that is exposed to the elements is not designed to last for very long. So you're gonna wanna get that taken care of. Also, shingles are not that difficult to repair or replace, especially if it's just one or two in a certain area. So definitely get that checked out. Next problem we're talking about today is more of a word of advice for warranty complexities. Make sure whichever type of shingle and manufacturer you go with, you read and thoroughly understand what the fine print of the warranty means. Just because it has a long term of the warranty doesn't mean that it's going to cover everything that you would expect it to cover. Oftentimes those warranties only cover manufacturer's defects. They might be prorated, they might be limited to certain applications, certain locations, certain installation practices. So you're going to want to make sure that you read and understand what you're paying for and what you're getting with those manufacturer's warranties. Speaking of manufacturer's defects, that is the next problem that we're talking about. Now, they don't happen all the time, and they might not even happen often, but they do happen. So you're gonna wanna keep that in mind, and that goes back to making sure you understand fully what your warranty covers and the time and limited nature of what it covers for whatever manufacturer you go with. If and when that manufacturer defect occurs, you wanna make sure that you are fully protected. Utilize the knowledge of your installer, have them help you go through the warranty information, and make sure that you understand what you are paying for and what you're getting. Now, manufacturer's defects can cause a wide variety of problems. We already talked about one of them, premature granule loss. That's one thing that can occur due to certain manufacturer's defects. So like I said, make sure you talk to your installer and make sure you know what your warranty covers. The last common problem that we're going to be talking about today is installation error. Now, if you review the list of problems we've already talked about, a lot of those things can be caused or accelerated by installation error. Installation error is a huge list, but it can include things like not installing with a proper flashing, not spacing nails properly or using the nailing strip at all, installing shingles at a too low of a pitch. There's a lot of different things that can occur if the installer is not up to the task. And we mentioned it throughout the whole video, ventilation. You're gonna wanna make sure that your installer addresses any ventilation problems and installs your roof for proper ventilation needs. Installation error is one of those problems that you can avoid by doing your proper research. Ask about your contractor. Make sure they have good reviews and good references. Make sure they're licensed and insured. Check out previous projects that they've done. Make sure they're answering your questions properly. It's a lot of money for a roof and you don't want to go the wrong direction. Well, thanks for watching today. Those are just some of the problems of an asphalt shingle roof that can either occur at the end of their natural lifespan or cause prematurely by installation error or manufacturer's defects or the environment. As always, I'm Thad Barnett. Thank you for watching. Subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel for more. Comment down below if you have any questions or if there are any other problems that I missed about asphalt shingle roofing. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.